Writers, agents, and publishers, for the first time since the Gutenberg Press, find themselves lost in a maze of mystery as technology alters the shape of the publishing industry. Searching for Answers is a group of writers throwing pop culture, writing, and publishing into a crucible of clarity, passion, and humor. This group is the Right Pack. In this episode, we are going to have our annual New Year's resolutions and talk about what 2018 may bring for us and in the writing community. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Right Pack Radio. This is your host and producer, David Allen Lucas, author of Crazy Things, voice actor, president of St. Louis Writers Guild, and just completely going nuts all the time. And with me today is my lovely co-host.
Hello, I'm Kathleen Kayembe. I write fiction under my own name. You can find short stories by me at nightmare-magazine.com and at lightspeedmagazine.com. I also write and edit and proofread paranormal romance and other types of romance, usually queer in nature. And I do that under the pen name Kaseka Nvita.
And how do you spell that for in case anybody wants to look you up?
Oh, in case you're not Congolese, that spelling is Kaseka space Nvita.
Thank you. I only am not Congolese, but I really stink at spelling.
Well, it's not American spelling, so you're totally forgiven.
I keep blaming the French for the American spelling. And coming on over, I'll explain that story off mic later. Go ahead. Also with us today is...
my name is Chanel A. Chan. I write stories of science fiction and fantasy kind of stuff. Lately, I've been doing literary stuff because I'm applying to grad school.
Hooray!
Wow!
Yeah, go me.
Go you.
So, yeah.
What are you going to major in?
Creative writing.
Oh, she's going for your
Going
MFA.
for gold with that MFA, man.
Okay.
See if I can do it.
Talk to you more about that off mic.
And also with us today is...
I'm Melanie Lucas. I've been working on very slowly a fantasy novel for quite a while now.
Yep. Also with us.
My name is Jennifer Stolzer. I'm a children's book author and illustrator.
And
that's it? You usually talk way more than that.
Yeah. She's working while she's talking here.
I'm working. I'm dual wielding today. I figure with my New Year's resolutions, I can expound. But the goal is to try and get more done without losing my mind.
I have something for you to read later.
I don't have time to read.
I know. That's all right. Keep going. Also with us is our Madame Murder.
Fedora Amos. I write Victorian whodunits like Jack the Ripper in St. Louis and Mayhem at Buffalo Bill's Wild West. And I have sold another book to 5-star. It is called Have Your Ticket Punched by Frank James. And it probably won't even come out next year, but it will come out sometime.
All right.
Yay. And I am president of Greater St. Louis Sisters in Crime.
Excellent. Congrats. And also with us returning...
After a month's absence, yes, it's November has been a very interesting month. This is George Soroy. I am the president of the Missouri Writers Guild. I'm also an author of science fiction for the young adult reader. You can get both Excelsior and the 5-part serial from Parts Unknown on paperback and ebook. You can also pick up Excelsior in audiobook format, narrated by myself. I am also an audiobook narrator with several other projects that are in the works, and you can find more information about that at my website, he'sgotit.com.
What he's not telling you is he's a brand new dad.
Congratulations. Yes, I am a brand new father to a beautiful baby girl. Her name is Scarlett Grace Soroy, and she has she's got the whole world really ahead of her. So I am very excited to see what she's got for us.
Fantastic.
And also invite her on a future episode.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And also with us coming remotely because he doesn't want to get the rest of the Right Pack sick.
Especially George and his new baby.
Exactly.
Much appreciated.
Yes, I am Brad R. Cook, author of many a thing now. But definitely if you're into the steampunk, I have the Iron Chronicles for your teens and up, and my newest, Steam Tree, the Adranium Adventures, for your middle grade.
And he just froze. But anyway, you can get that online at bradrcook.com, or if you are in local St. Louis, pop over to
Main Street Books
Main
in
Street
St.
Books in
Charles.
St. Charles.
Did I cut out there for a second?
You did cut out there. So I thought. So
okay.
here I.
We got you. We got you.
Yeah.
Yes. And also joining us today, we have a guest who's returning, and that is.
Hi, I'm Sarah Hussein. I mostly am a content writer for different brands, including I also helped with the St. Louis Writers Guild with like their social media, and I've done some blogs as well. So, and then I'm also graduating this month.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yes. In fact, you may have you may have graduated because this is now airing on December 31, so this is a perfect topic. And from the Right Pack to you out there in the world, Happy New Year. Keep it safe.
Happy New Year!
And make it productive. So,
And that's it for tonight.
See you next time.
there's a reason I married her. Anyway,
In 2018.
yes. So, being one who always hates resolutions anyway, I'm going to start off with asking you guys. Let me ask the hardest question. How was 2017 for you in writing and the writing industry? And I do mean the changes, like Amazon is now doing something new to Goodreads regarding its marketing and being able to give away free books and all that stuff. So how's 2017 treated you? Anybody?
Now I'm confused.
Ah,
Yeah, like,
I threw a wrench at you.
yeah, the Amazon was a wrench. I was like, wait, me personally, how did I do? Or
Brad?
like, what is the writing industry?
No,
doing?
how did you do in the
Yes,
writing
both.
industry is my question.
How did you do with
I
reference
would
to writing?
say for me, with being in marketing advertising, it was a very
Can I defer to one of the many others?
Yes.
Because, yeah. Go ahead, Sarah.
it was for me it was like a really busy year. I mean, I was helping St. Louis Writers Guild. I was also did an internship with HLK Ad Agency where I got to do a lot of content writing for both HLK and for different brands that we were working on their projects. And then I was also like promotions director for Webster University's radio station, so I got to do a lot of writing with that. I would say it was really productive year for me.
So I made a list at in summer of 2016 when I was at Clarion of writing goals to have done in a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and I talked about it a bit on a previous episode.
Yes, you did.
And I set like the end of 2017 is my 1 year because I wanted as much leeway as possible. I was like, a year and a half sounds like a year. Good job, rounding down.
Works for government. Go for it.
So I have the list in front of me, and there are some things that I didn't do in 2017. There were 2 novels that I wanted to have done by the end of the year. Nano was something I used to help get further in one of them, but it's not done. And so those things I didn't do. I didn't revise and submit 5 short stories for publication by the end of the year. I haven't run, well, I have actually run an AWA writing group, but not in the way that I had intended. So in that sense, like 2017, I failed a bunch, but like,
Failed is not a word.
Right, we don't like that word.
but
I do. I'll explain that in a second. Go for it.
But there were a bunch of other goals that that I didn't necessarily plan to have done this year that I have already went ahead and done. So like I've been regularly guest posting on a friend's writing blog. I've been a guest at a convention now. I've sat on a convention panel now. I've attended a writer-reader convention. GatewayCon allowed me to check off some stuff, guys. It was great. And I submitted short stories to John Joseph Adams. So, like, I didn't do everything that I planned, but I mean, I got some stuff knocked off from other lists. So, all in all, it's been a good year.
I'm going to pop this over to George, but I want to say why I said fail is a good word for me. And that is something which I had to have reminded to me recently. And that is, people can win all the time if they want to. And guess what? The second they get somebody who wins constantly, who has never had defeat first time they have a defeat, they don't know what to do. Those of you who fall down a lot and pick yourselves back up, you're stronger, and you're not just a winner, you're a champion. So keep it up. And with that, I'm going to toss this over to George.
Yes. I would definitely say that 2017 has been a landmark year in terms of my writing because not only did I finish at that time Ever Upward Part 2 of the Excelsior Journey, but you know, this was before it got hit with the sledgehammer of Aloris Publishing, and I had to, you know, do a lot of rewriting, which I'm still in the middle of. I will get to that later when we get to the resolutions. At the beginning of 2017, I was the vice president conference chair of the Missouri Writers Guild, and I was being asked to put together the conference for the Guild, and it would also be my first time attending the conference for the Missouri Writers Guild. So it was one of those, you know, like ignorance is bliss kind of feelings, and everyone who attended really enjoyed themselves, which was a very nice, you know, definitely a very nice boost to the ego. That I saw the amount of people that were there, and it's like, okay, we got to do better than this for next year. So, but having put together my own conference, which was a huge, which was a goal that I never thought I would have in me, but it's been done. I've spoken on several different panels for different conferences. I attended my first PenCon and already secured my table for next year with David. And, you know, I've recorded 4 different audiobooks, 2 novels, one of them being my own, and 2 children's books. You know, like that was another big element that worked out. It just feels like everything is just kind of, you know, building and building and building. I was expecting to participate a lot in NaNoWriMo, but, you know, like as I said before, November 2017 was a very landmark time for completely different reasons. But yeah, you know, so there's still more to do, but at the same time, I feel like everything is in the process of falling into place. The fact that I finally got to not only finish From Parts Unknown, but hold all 5 parts like in my hands in the two paperback books. That in itself just made 2017 a huge win for me.
Brad.
Okay. To be perfectly honest, I'm going to throw this out in 2 ways. So yes, it was a stellar year for me in the sense that I put out 4 short stories and a novel, as well as, you know, Gateway Con and the craziness that all of that entailed. So when one looks at it, it's actually quite crazy. In fact, I was talking to somebody at St. Louis Writers Guild just the other day, and they were going on and on about all the publishing I'd done this year, which is true. It's awesome, and I loved it. Great time. Here's the kicker. I met none of my sales goals for anything this year. And that's not being over the top and crazy or anything like that, and that's not to say I didn't make any money or anything like that, but to be perfectly honest, I didn't make a single one of my sales goals for this year. From any of the conferences that I went to and any of the stuff that I did, any of that craziness. So in that regards, I would totally throw out that this year was, you know, also total of bust. Now that's not to say I didn't make money, and to be honest, Steam Tree's too soon. It just came out a couple weeks ago, so
yeah.
I don't even have the numbers on how many of those have sold yet. But it is the 2 sides of the coin in the industry that we live in. The perception is a lot in this industry.
Yeah.
You know that in that case, it was a stellar year, and I can't say that it wasn't because you know, I have the Baroness is out for free. The Clockwork Heart is out. The Dragon Slayer came out. The Doomed Flight of the Majestic, I'm so proud of, and I really dig that story. That came out and love that. And then Steam Tree came out in November, and that was crazy. That came down to the wire and was fun and, you know, led to a whole bunch of improvement of my skills sets. So all in all, I'd have to say it was a banner year, but, you know, there are always, I guess, cons to every pros.
Jen?
I had a great year. I published my own book after working on it for 12 years. So,
Yes.
you know, sales
that
goals
book is?
it's Threadcaster. If you haven't heard me talk about it before for the last 12 years. So I'm excited about that. That was a big, you know, life goal, not just a 2017 goal. And that started pretty much a whole new branch of my company to push and to sell and, you know, create and sell books, and also taught me how to do interior design and things like that. So 2017 was definitely a landmark year for me, and I can't really complain.
I just want to talk for a moment about the nicest thing that happened to me, which was that people found me to speak, not because I had previously been a speaker or for any other reason than they discovered me through my books. And so I ended up going to a few book clubs and talking about my books, and especially the Sherlockians found me and wanted me to talk about Victorianisms, and I enjoyed that mightily, and especially the fact that they found me. I didn't go looking for them.
And you also went to Scotland, I
Oh,
believe.
yeah, well,
Well,
that I was
well,
going to
that's part
talk
of your
about,
writing
actually, in terms of my resolutions for next year. But certainly it is true that I have as a goal to go to one writers conference which is out of localities, and that one was to Scotland. And I gotta admit, I was having so much fun at the Fringe Festival that I spent very little time there, but I did go. All right, I did go.
Oh, geez. So 2017 was, I would have to say, a pretty spectacular year. Not because I got anything published, not because I made any sort of benchmark numbers or anything like that, but just because I felt like I found the impetus to get there in 2017. So, like, there has been any number of, like, personal circumstances, and I'm sure you guys, everybody has theirs, but in order to be able to say, you know what, I think next year I do want to try and do XYZ. And then I want to try and do that too. And hell, let's go for grad school while we're at it. Mm-hmm. Let's try it. Like, whereas that would not have even been on my radar, like January, February. It would have been nowhere on my mind. So it's spectacular to me, 2017, because I think I'm getting in the motion, on track, getting there. And I'm okay with that.
I'll share my 2017, and then I'm going to come tie back something back to what Kathleen said that I think is a fantastic thing to do. But let me go ahead and go through my 2017. Didn't happen like I wanted to. Didn't happen like I expected to. Life happens. As you were saying, things happen in life. We'll go on. Some great things did happen, both in writing as well as on the surface, not related to writing, but definitely falls into it. Part of it, Brad, Kathleen, Jen, Kitty, Sarah. I'm used to calling you by your Facebook name rather than your real name. Melanie here. We all pulled off Gateway Con with the help of the Sisters in Crime. Thank you, Fedora. For the help of Saturday Writers, St. Louis Publishers Association, the Missouri Romance Writers of America, and I feel like I'm missing somebody. I'm not doing that on purpose.
George?
I already said George. I thought I said George. Did I not say George? Okay,
Romance
George.
writers? Did you say romance
George and
writers?
Missouri Writers Guild. Sorry.
Sitting right there glaring at you.
I am so sorry.
And he's looking at me while he's spitting off like all these other names, just like someone else, not you, someone else, not you, someone else, not you.
But who am I forgetting? Who am I?
Did I forget someone? Death Claire.
I am so sorry. And on the serious side, that that was.
Did you admonish him or something?
Yeah, that was great.
Is there some sort of censure we can put on it now?
So I want to say Gateway Con itself was amazing. Brad, you and I heard constantly at the last St. Louis Writers Guild meeting from one person who went was, we launched her career. So that was that part of writing.
Cool interview.
Huh? Yes, we'll have her interview up sometime soon.
Yeah, I said that was a pretty cool interview.
It really was.
You should tell them where to find the interview because it'll probably be up by the time this airs.
It'll probably be on YouTube.
Yeah,
on
it'll
the
be on
St. Louis
YouTube.
Writers Guild channel.
Right.
Find it there.
So, also too on the negative side, I had a whole hell of a lot of health issues to get through. So, Gateway Con on top of those health issues, yeah, that burned away about 6 months of the year. But then I found out I wasn't ready to write. I wasn't, and at the same time, I was doing voice acting. I was learning how to do the voice acting, which George doesn't. He's nodding. You can't see him, of course. Learning how to do commercial, animation, computer games. Right now, hopefully, since this is airing December 31, by the end of January, my audio book narration will finally come out as a demo. It's pretty close now, as it is. And that launching that new career on top of everything else, yeah, made 2017 very interesting. But here's the subsurface of what I was talking about before. That got me starting doing comedy improv, which sounds a little weird. How's that related to writing? Well, my previous career was very analytical. And my emotional side, as far as getting it out on paper and getting into the characters and all that stuff, was, I'm being polite, trying to think of a rated G version of saying this, very, very stuffed up. Yeah, that's a good G version of it. Recently, we've had some breakthroughs with the voice acting that is tying straight into the writing. So hopefully in a few weeks from now, I'll have some announcement, which I'm not going to talk about now because I'm not going to jinx myself. But yeah, so that's where things are at, and that's how 2017 was for me. Before I go into 2018, I want to go back to Kathleen. Kathleen, you said after you went to Clarion, or at Clarion, you wrote down your 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plan.
And tenure, yeah.
And tenure. Something in Boy Scouts, advanced adult leader training called Wood Badge, has what's called writing your ticket. It is basically the same concept. And it is, you're putting down on paper what it is you are going to do in the, sorry, something happened over here. I'm trying to figure out what the heck that was. It's something that you are committing yourself to do over the next couple of years. And when you finish your ticket, then you actually have earned your Wood Badge beads. You might have completed training, but you don't get those beads until you're done. And having gone through a master's program at the same time as I went through Wood Badge, I might as well not have paid for my master's program. Wood Badge covered it in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Or they covered it in 2 years.
Yes, but it looks so much more impressive.
I know it does. I know it does, which is why I kept at it. But where I'm going with that is write down your goals if you can. Write them down. You may not fulfill them, but you're never going to fulfill them if you don't write them down. It's a great concept. So with that, 2018 happening in less than 24 hours, depending on where you're listening to this at. And by the way, yes, we are recording in the past, so I'm pretending this is actually December 31st. What are your resolutions for next year? Who would like to kick off? Okay,
I'll
Fedora.
start because I'm so boring. I always have the same ones.
Good.
You know, I don't believe in this big thing. I don't believe in NaNoWriMo at all. I mean, for goodness sake, you write a book in a month and you just plow into it. I would go absolutely crazy. I believe in baby steps. And so my goals are write 100 words a day. If you write 100 words a day, you have a book in 2 years. My additional goals, do 1 promotion per week, which I might count this, but I actually do a second one perhaps, or even a third in every week as well. these are meetable goals. I can do those. I also plan to go to one writers' conference, which is not local, and I went to Scotland, as I said, to the Edinburgh Book Festival, and kind of blew it off, to tell you the truth. But anyway, I also went to Western Writers' Conference, which I enjoyed immensely, and to Gateway too, which I also enjoyed immensely. So I've been to several writers' conferences, and I often do that, you know, more than what I set myself as a goal to do. I also have the goal of writing one book per year, and I just finished one. Everybody applaud, please. It is called, and you know that I always have a little nip of Cointreau when I write the end to anything. This one is called New York to London with Dr. Crippen. It was a real creepy guy. They found his wife chopped up in the cellar.
Oh my goodness.
In New York or in London?
In London.
Both. No.
And parts of both.
Yeah, parts
Yeah.
of both.
No.
Parts are at New York, the rest of it.
Parts were just actually missing.
Every few hours, he went to the side of the ship and dropped a piece. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
I'm dark. I know
Sorry
it.
to hijack that. Continue.
That was funny.
I'm just picturing like the map from Raiders of the Lost Ark, just going like.
Dropping stuff for the map.
No. Poor Cora, they never found all of her, so, you know.
The rest
So
is in New
different.
York.
Anyway, this was 10 years after my book is set, so we get to see him earlier, learning how to be creepy. But anyway, so finish the book, and I don't have a goal of selling a book because that's not really up to me, but I managed to do that too. And I sent in one story to a contest and another to a publisher, neither of which have I heard back from, so I assume they're not going anywhere. But anyway, I've done a number of things, and I believe in baby steps. Do something that is doable, that you can say you did it, and often you'll find yourself doing much more than that.
It's funny you just said, I'm going to do a quick tie-in. It's funny you just talked about NaNoWriMo. A few weeks ago, I might have argued with you on that. But one of the things I did, as I was talking about breaking through out of all my backup, if you will, in 2017, I was signed up for NaNoWriMo. This was the second year, and the second year I was going to fail in doing anything with NaNoWriMo. And I just looked at the thing, hovered my little mouse over, cancel the account, clicked it, canceled my account, and the next day I was ready to write. So it literally, once that
Monkey was off your
monkey
back?
was off my back, which was a monkey I put on myself, a stressor I put on myself, I was freed.
Well, a journey of
weird.
1,000 miles starts with a single step.
Amen.
I have a friend that actually had a similar time this year with Nano. She was writing with the Nano momentum, but not doing it officially, and then she joined on the site, and then she just stopped. And then she canceled her account, and she wrote fine again. So I mean, it just do what works for you. It doesn't work for everybody.
Exactly.
So, for people like me, he's not like a
National Writing
super writer. What is Nano?
National Writing
National
National
Novel
Novel
Writing.
Writing.
National Novel Writing Month. Thank you. I knew it.
Yeah, this
National
was-
Writing Month, NaNoWriMo.
Listening to coming out of my mouth.
This
that was wrong.
this was started by a guy named Chris Beatty in San Francisco, where he and a group of friends basically picked November to be the month that they would write a 50,000 word draft of a book in just 30 days. And so what they did was they, just plowed through it, did not expect to do anything with this. They just wanted to just write it. And now it's become like such a huge phenomenon, and it's used as the basis of everyone's, if they're doing it right, everyone's first draft. Not your final draft. If you think for 1 second, like out there, if you think for 1 second that on November 30th you're going to hit the end and then go to Amazon and go ahead and submit it and expect people to take you seriously, no, it's not going to happen.
Or send it to an agent. Same concept.
The joke is this is why new submissions are closed down for the month of December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kathleen.
So Nano is really useful even if you're not going to officially take the Nano Challenge, because a lot of people are writing that month and you get a lot of extra momentum. There are write-ins everywhere. So the years that I didn't do nano seriously, as in like I didn't hunker down and do the official challenge, I would do a modified nano challenge so it fit what I needed. So like I had 5 short stories one year, and I was like, okay, I want to get a short story finished a week, and that's my goal for nano. And it worked out pretty well. And apparently there are authors who are, you know, well known as being awesome at their jobs, who do like National Novel Finishing Month. At least there's one of them that I was told about, because I mentioned my friend that I had done that one year. She's like, oh, this author does that. NaNoFIMO. I was like, what? Oh, National Novel Finishing Month. I see.
Yes.
So
So
can everybody see, like, is there like a site that people put
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
on? Everyone can see
Yeah.
it first.
So
draft?
Is the half nano an actual thing, or is that just an unofficial thing where you do the 35,000 words?
I think that's just an unofficial thing.
Okay.
I know that there are a lot of different versions of it right now, but the thing about with the first drafts that get submitted, you're submitting, you're basically submitting like encrypted, breakdown of it, because what they're looking for is just a word count.
Right.
Like if you hit the word count, you upload it and everything to qualify it. Nobody else sees it. It's not.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
can
anyone
cheat and
else's.
just type whatever you want.
It's not for anyone else to see because it's your first draft.
You can type. Jack is a dull boy. Anyway.
the other
In
so-
addition, there are various groups around town, like Maplewood Public Library had a month-long write-in and a party at the end of it too. So there are various places where you could get hitched up with.
Yeah, Ray Barden hosts STL Rhinos. That's a Facebook group.
Oh, right,
So-
yeah.
To answer your question, though, you don't put your novel up on the Nano website for everybody to see. One of the things that is true for when you post your fiction online in an unlocked setting, though, so it's public, is you can't publish that.
Well,
It's
you-
been.
you
let me-
can,
Can I
but
finish?
Yeah,
You can't publish that. The first North American serial rights or whatever have gone. Like, it is on the web. Like, if you revise something heavily, then you could publish it potentially. But that draft that you've just done is unpublishable now, unless it's a reprint. So, there are definitely
Fix it up and then publish
yes,
that one. Okay.
and that's what agents would prefer. Like I hear their nightmare period is around the 1st of December because people will finish Nano and think my novel's perfect and it's time to go to an agent, and they get flooded, and the agents are like, why have you done this to me?
Shoot
Why
me
did this
down.
ever get started?
Because like a first draft is by definition not going to be good. Like even if you're a great writer, your first draft generally needs editing. But we've gone off track. I'm sorry.
We have, but let me go with Jen, and then we'll go get
Well,
back
I
up
just
there.
wanted to be a little bit more specific. You've burned through your launch of your book. If you're trying to get an agent and be published by a big house, like he's like that draft is unpublishable. It's probably unpublishable anyway because of what Kathleen said, which means it needs a lot of work because you wrote it in a real big hurry over 1 month. But if you're going to self-publish it, there is nothing in the world stopping you from going on Amazon and just publishing that draft. But then if you want to turn that into a book that you want to take to New York, you've completely ruined it because you've also ruined your launch date. Like that launch is gone. Agents really want to be able to build up the premiere of a book. And that's why they don't often pick up ones that have been previously self-published unless they already have a lot of sales. It's because they don't, it's like, oh, I finished this book and it's all completely formatted and you guys can have it. They're like, we don't want that because it's already been revealed. We want to be able to reveal it. So that's why Nano does
hype and marketing.
Yeah, Nano lets you put like a blurb up so that you can share your writing with people, but they don't want you to upload the whole novel for people.
Thanks, you guys.
You're welcome. So back to resolutions, and I know I jumped here on the Nano thing. Who else is someone else's resolutions for next year?
Well,
Okay.
we're recording in the past, so I don't know what this is going to be. But by the time this airs, I will have written out some questions, interview questions, that I want to ask a group of people that are probably older, probably in nursing homes. And once I get the questions, I'll know what I want to do with those questions, because the main purpose of them is for character research for my book. I definitely want to do that. The issue is, depending on what the questions are, I was also hoping to make some oral histories and get that published. So by now, I'll know if I want to do that, and if I want to do that, my goal would be to definitely have this done by the end of 2018, but hopefully have it done by,
GatewayCon?
Yes! Yeah, maybe even published, maybe submit it to a literary magazine or whatever. If I decide to do this at all, and I won't know until I have the questions I want to ask them.
Again, GatewayCon is...
Yeah.
The GatewayCon's not until June. Do you want to say what your research is, or do you want me to say it?
Go ahead. You might say it more succinctly than me.
Okay, point blank, what she's researching is the Jewish community and the behavior of those who are not Jewish, the mainstream community, post-World War II to 1960, before the Civil Rights Movement. What was that like in America? Before World War II hit, you did have Nazis marching down the streets in Washington, D.C. They were American Nazis. That's a scary thought, but it's true. What happened after World War II fell? What was the effect? What was the effect of people living outside, if they were in the Jewish community, as far as they were Jewish, but they chose not to live in a Jewish suburb. They moved to a different neighborhood. What was the effect as far as, was there any prosecution? Persecution, thank you. I know I'm getting the words in my mouth wrong. Persecution and so forth. So that's what she's working on.
I just realized when I read that goal that I had of running an AWA writing group, I actually did do that because I have later on run a regular. So yeah, I feel more accomplished.
Yay!
And if I remember right, Kathleen, aren't you at GatewayCon running the write-ins?
Yes, and I have some plans for those, so y'all should come join us
Nice.
for 2018 GatewayCon.
And you were also talking about a 10-year plan?
Yes.
No, but I was just thinking, 10-year plan, my fantasy novel. Let's make that a 10-year plan. I'll get it done by 2024.
You can do it.
Published by 2024.
You can do it.
He's got this.
Years.
Yeah.
10 years would be 2000 or 27.
No, it started in 2014,
Oh, okay.
so
Then
10-year
you're fine.
plan.
So
I'm like, wait, you're cutting off some years there.
Okay, we're gonna go Brett. Unless you're done. Are you done, Kathleen?
well, there are some goals that I've just started rearranging now that I'm realizing, okay, I have nothing written down for 2018, and I do like the idea of having goals for a particular year. So I have the 3 and the 5 and the 10, but now I'm like, okay, I need to have some specific goals for 2018, and I think at least 2 of them are definitely rolling over to 2018, getting those novels done. So I'll go more into those later.
Cool. I'm gonna go after I jumped the spot. It's Fedora, Brad, George, Chanel. Fedora.
What?
Oh, you had to okay, never mind. Right on to Brad.
I love you.
Life happens.
They both start with F.
Awesome. Yeah, so 2018, it is going to be an interesting year. Hopefully there'll be a lot more publishing being done in 2008. In fact, I don't say there should be, there will be. Let's see, it'll definitely entail the history of St. Louis Writers Guild. That will be coming out in 2018. I don't know when. My goal is GatewayCon. Hey, there we go. Another goal for GatewayCon. Let's see. I have the second in the Dragon Slayer series. So the King Slayer will be coming out in 2018. And then I've decided that the novel that I was working on over the last year, instead of publishing it as a novel straight out, we're going to serialize it into like 6 or 7 sections.
Sweet.
And the first one of those will be coming out here probably in January. So be on the lookout for that. And then if all goes well, we'll also get the second Steam Tree out as well. And then I have one more that I am writing, and who knows when that'll get finished.
Just to clarify, that one that's coming out in January 2018 or 2019?
2018. Yeah.
Okay, so it's coming out
right
anytime.
after you're hearing and listening to this, go check it out. I'm not going to announce the title yet because I'm not 100% sure of what the individual little titles will be. But yeah, I'll announce more of that very soon.
Excellent.
Oh, and then also, I'm totally launching a new website and newsletter and all of that stuff in 2018. So
Oh,
Yeah.
Cool.
Fun stuff.
George, and then over to Chanel.
Well, it's safe to say that that by the end of 2017, I will not have finished the edits for Ever Upward. So that is my priority, top priority for 2018, is to get them finished, get them over to my publisher, who is chomping at the bit to get it, so that way he can release this, and then I can start plotting book 3 in this trilogy. Which I'm really, really excited for, because that means I will not be writing any more of book 2. So
Yay.
that is a huge thing. Another one for me is I would love to record the audiobooks for the rest of my catalog. So I already have Excelsior done. I would love to get Ever Upward done as soon as possible, and I would also love to narrate all 5 parts of From Parts Unknown, so that way they can be their own separate audiobook going out on Audible. I would also really like to apply myself in terms of marketing, so that I can get a better grip on letting the world know that these books exist, because right now they don't seem to be too aware of that. So I've recently purchased a class from Melissa Storm's litring.com series of classes, where I will be talking about like different means of how to properly like launch a book and everything. So I plan on using that quite a bit for Ever Upward. And we also have several items that we have in store for the Missouri Writers Guild, including our upcoming Patreon account, our upcoming book for full members to participate in, our conference in May 19th. It's a one-day conference, so save the date. And really, just like my goal is just to leave the Missouri Writers Guild board in a better state than where I started, which is what everyone wants. Everyone wants to leave it in a better place than where it was before. So that is my goal more than anything.
That's the Scout's honor.
Yes.
Leave your campsite nicer than you found it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh crap.
Sorry, Chanel.
Sorry, I completely forgot that I was supposed to go.
Resolutions?
Yeah, I know. I hate resolutions with a passion, because like I always feel terrible when I don't do them. But if I had to give some, then it would be get into grad school. That would be like, I wouldn't know. I would have finished applying by the time this aired, but I wouldn't have results until like early 2018.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like 3 or 4 months of nerves. During that 3 or 4 months of nerves, I would have liked to be working on my novel, to have it finished in 2018. I would like to have at least the first 2 drafts of this novel finished in 2018. If I can get it completely finished, that'd be awesome. I would also like to have like 2 to 3 stories, short stories finished and sent off for competitions or publication. That sounds about right. That's
very doable.
Mm-hmm.
I should make like a ridiculous one, just to like make myself like
A reach goal.
A reach goal, yes. Somebody give me a
Have
reach
a
goal.
full-length novel published in 2018.
You
You wanted a reach goal?
maybe not that reach.
A full-length novel
He's
ready to
submitted
be
to
submitted
agents.
to an agent.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. That's a nice reach goal. We'll go for that one.
Because if you submit to an agent, it's going to take you a good year plus to get it published anyway. So
Right, let's go for that. So
definitely, it's a year plus. So
yeah.
And you're really plus.
So any others?
Yeah.
Fedora.
I've thought of something. It is that I think a lot of people don't know that when you finish a book, you're still not finished with the book, because you have to do ancillaries, which include all kinds of cover copy, flap copy, lead line, this, that, and the other. And I'm working on that for the book that I just finished. And then you let the whole thing sit for a while. But I still have to do a couple of pages for my website.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot more to finish up, kind of cleaning up those things. And I would like to get those done by the end of the year so that I can actually start my next book, because I have the 3 things that I need before I can start a book. I have how it starts, I have exactly when it is, and I have the black moment just kind of tracing around in my head saying, get this other stuff done so you can get to what you want to do.
Okay.
I'm also going to Portugal to do research for
Just
this.
by the way.
By the way, I'll be in
Wow.
Portugal.
Wow.
in March.
To
Next novel
quote-
taking place over there.
To quote,
Oh, yeah.
to quote a certain favorite character, and not your favorite character, but one of your favorite characters, Jennifer. Do you have a piece of luggage by Yeats, followed by Yay Y? Okay, anyway. And it's reference to me in this case here, but it was a character from Babylon 5, Jakar.
No, I only take as much as I can carry in one trip, ever.
I'll walk myself. No, I'm just joking.
Like the little panels come out from the bottom. The little suitcases
Feel
are
like
Kind of
Like
like an
a
old
Star
Hanna
Wars.
Barbera.
It's like Oscar the Grouch.
Right.
I want to say also too, a reminder when you talk about the website. Ever since I closed Winding Trails audio play side of it, the Winding Trails Theater, I've kind of let that website just kind of sit there. And thank you for reminding me. I need to get back to it because it is evolving. And over now to Chanel, then to George, I believe.
Okay, so now I've been thinking about it, and I am. On my good days, I'm an overachiever. So I'm thinking like something along the lines of, I want something that really kind of stretches me really far beyond what I think I'm capable of. Like something that put me outside of my comfort zone. Like this year, that was like getting it really kind of down and dirty into literary writing, which is, meh.
Not your home.
She's really good at it though.
It feels like putting on a pair of shoes that's too small. It pinches. It doesn't quite feel
Make
right.
her legs look fabulous.
Okay. Anyway, I with the current
Hey,
atmosphere.
let the awards just come soothing over you. That's the way the literary world works.
It's treated like the Oscars. You gotta make your gritty war film so you can go off and do your independent fantasy thing.
Oh yes.
Okay, so
But yeah, I guess what I was trying to say is like I'm trying to think of something, maybe another genre to work in, or maybe something else to get my fingers into that's to put me outside of comfortable Chanel working range.
We're playing off your parachute metaphor. Let's just go skydiving.
I could not write while skydiving. That's a problem.
yeah, that'd be real interesting.
Maybe you can record like.
No, too much air. No.
You gotta play it back. It's all wind.
Do one of those.
All wind and the sounds of your
Screaming.
terrified
Be like the Doobie Brothers episode of What's Happening. Just like, all I'm hearing is popcorn.
What were you saying, Jen?
Nothing. Just trying to make jokes. There's no room for jokes in this room.
Oh no, not at all.
Oh, jeez. So I'm like listening around for inspiration now. Somebody like I just need to find something to like.
Well, if you want skydive, go Halo. You know, if you're gonna go big.
Yeah, if you want to try to describe a scream in one of your books, go record yourself skydiving.
I'm methoded out for the next 5 years, guys. I'm sorry.
Hey, by
You
the way,
say that, but
I'm gonna give this over to George here in a second, but just real quick, Halo, for those who don't know, you're jumping out of a plane at 20,000 feet and you're pulling your ripcord around 3,000. And now,
Right. Yeah.
high altitude, low opening.
It's not.
Well,
Oh.
I'm kind of thinking it in that sort of range because as
Your
long
Halo driving.
not quite, but in my own special way. As long as my daughter is proud of me,
Oh.
that is my goal. That is my goal. That's circling over everything else.
My goal is
For
to come back to
2018.
life after you just killed me. For
Right. With feels.
I got I
I learned CPR.
that's really like that's a thing that's the overarching kind of goal more than anything. So it's just like if I can get through 2018 and she's still as happy as happy and healthy as possible, then then I've done my job and I can move on to 2019 and 2020 and the rest of my life. So
Learning to live with sleep deprivation is your goal for 2018.
that's already started.
Yeah.
I'm well versed in that.
Well, I have some stuff going back in time, because this episode is forward in time. So by the time this episode airs, I would like to have gotten an author website and a newsletter launched, because those are things I definitely should have done before March of this year, and just never got around to, and now it's maybe a problem. So those are things that I need to get done. Hopefully we'll have done by the end of this episode.
You've got people who have made websites all around you who would be happy to help. I
know.
Brad,
Kathleen, I am on my 4th book, and my newsletter will launch here around January. So talk about being a little slow on the uptake or a little late to the